So the greatest recipe on the planet, wait one moment. 1, 2, 3, action. Spiced apple porridge. It is delicious. And when I mean spice, it's got the cinnamon and the vanilla, which just rocks my world. And I'll show you a little trick about vanilla actually, and this is something I do. So vanilla pods are quite expensive. So what I do is I get them and I chop them up into around about 1/2 inch, all of them. And then I do not take the ends off or pull them apart or anything like that. And they go straight into my jar. And I have them on tap, and I'm going to use 1 inch of that. I know a lot of chefs kind of pull them apart and they take the seeds out, but it's a waste. So it's just a little trick for you. All right, so you're going to need a pot. Some beautiful oats. You're definitely going to need a pinch of salt. Why? Because salt is the building blocks of flavour, and it brings out the deliciousness of the oats. It really does. Over salting turns it into a little bit of a savoury situation, so you don't want to do that. We need water. Grab yourself a wooden spoon, and you want to bring this to the boil. You want to add your little piece of vanilla in there and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I can smell that already. It's really quite warming and delicious. And you want to bring this to the boil. And as you can see, I'm just kind of leaning on my stove, and I know some of you might have children or you might be trying to run out the door, but just know that this is a moment and it won't take you long. And that's the whole thing with cooking, right? Things take time, but also getting sick takes time as well, and that wrecks the whole process of living when one is crippled by some sort of disease or something. So just remember that. So as that is coming to the boil, you're going to need a frying pan, just a small one. And this is going to go on the heat as well. I'm going to put that here so you can see both. It's on a medium heat. And what I'm going to do, as I'm kind of floating around, knowing that that's coming to the boil, I can give myself a couple of minutes. I don't have to be right on it right now. That's the thing with cooking, right? We kind of know what's going on. And I need some apple. So I'm going to use a beautiful whole apple. I'm just going to cut around the core. You can kind of see what that looks like. And you're probably thinking to yourself, that's a lot. Like, that's too much apple, but trust me, it's great. It's like a little compote, and you can have it in the fridge and put on the other things that you're having for breakfast. It's super cool. So this is doing its thing. Hasn't come to the boil yet. And over here, my pan is hot, and I can tell, don't you touch it, because I have this kind of asbestos hands where I can feel the heat but not get burnt. It's kind of weird, I know, right? So that's really kind of getting hot. So now I'm going to turn it down a bit because I don't want anything to burn. I want these apples to caramelize. So I'm going to add my apples to the pan. Going to add some coconut sugar. A couple of tablespoons of water. And I want these to caramelize into this gorgeous sweet liquid. And as my apples are gently simmering in this lushness over here, which smells amazing by the way, back over to my porridge, it's starting to boil. And notice how I haven't put like a plant milk or any kind of milk in this porridge and I've used water. There's a reason for that, because we're going to add a splash of coconut milk last when we're serving this. So you want to keep this moving. It's on a low heat. This is gently simmering. Smells amazing. I don't want this to be a rapid boil because it'll start to stick. The oats have a lot of starch in them. They're an amazing little, tiny little grain. I love them dearly. Biodynamic preferably, or organic. They're just delicious. And over here, this is bubbling away and nothing's sticking, nothing's burning. It's a really good idea just to shake the pan. Move things around. Basically the apples are absorbing that liquid and they're slowly going to break down a little bit. I don't want it to go into mush. So we're just standing with it, watching it. As it's really starting to boil, I'm going to turn it down. Then it's just going to have a gentle simmer. Nothing is sticking to the bottom of this pot. I'm so happy. I stayed with it. Just gave myself a moment to know I'm nourishing myself. Plant-based eating's like that, right? It's just giving you a natural clean out. And over here, I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to turn this off, and this is looking delicious. There's no burning or anything, which is super important. And what's great about these apples, as they cool down, you can put them into a little jar and have them. And you can have them the next day, and you can put it on the lighten up loaf with some peanut butter. Like, there's so much you can do with this. So I'm going to have some breakfast with you. All right, want some of this delicious porridge. And there's that beautiful little vanilla pod, which I'm going to put back into there so it infuses. And then I'm going to add some of these gorgeous caramelized apples on top. Yum. And then some delicious coconut milk just around the outside. And if I feel like being cheeky and want a little bit more coconut sugar, then I'll add some more. This is up to you. Completely up to you. What's really great about this dish is that you will feel full until at least 1 o'clock this afternoon, which is perfect. Just a little bit more of that brown yumminess. There we go. Makes me happy. It makes me happy that you're doing this. It makes me happy that you're giving it a good hard crack. And the whole point, remember, of doing this, go back to this whole point, is that you're falling in love with yourself through high vibrational foods, plants as close to nature intended to be, with low human interference, just giving the body an opportunity to just have a lot of incredible living mineral and vitamin supplements. And that's what we're doing here, and that's it. And the energy comes, the face starts to clear up, you start to poo more. I know, right? Things start to happen. So I'm super proud of you. Enjoy this amazing meal. Man, this is really good.